good morning, and welcome to the vibrant morning here in BTV Kenya. Remember, in Vibrant Morning, we brings to you newspaper review, just a brief of what is in the newspaper, and you to do the comprehensive reading to find out exactly what the newspaper is bringing on matters on politics, on matters on business, on matters on sports. Remember, we are giving you a newspaper review on People Daily newspaper, which is a free newspaper. You can move to the nearest vendor, pick your copy, and read comprehensively. I'm your host, Gagi Isaiah. Today, my co-host, Lennox Odede, is not with me. He's out in the field to gather news for us. Now, as we continue, remember you can follow us on BTV Kenya, that is on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook page, Blackman TV Kenya. You can also follow us on X and also on TikTok, BTV Kenya. Remember to leave a comment. Remember to let us know where you are viewing us from. Thank you so much, my dear viewers, once again. Now, let us just dive straight into what we are having in the People Daily newspaper. Now, looking at the cover story, the story of the day in the People Daily newspaper is why President picked Kindiki as the new deputy president. Now, that's the big story, and that is in page 5 of the People Daily newspaper. It's a story on why the president actually settled on Kithure Kindiki as the deputy president nominee after the impeachment of the former deputy president, or still deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. Now, also on the cover page, we have CS Ogomba speaks tough on exam cheating as KCSE starts. As Kenya Certificate of Secondary School examination starts, CS Ogomba speaks tough on exam cheating. That is on page 2 of the People Daily newspaper. And also on the same cover page, you'll find a story of MP's query of 1 billion Kenya shillings Sport Academy construction deal. That's also a story in the People Daily newspaper, and it is on page 3 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, also, we also have in page 3, region with the highest concentration of women batterers. Now, that's also a story in page of the People Daily newspaper. Now, getting straight into the People Daily newspaper, let us get into page 2, where we are having preparation for national exam now in top gear. Now, over 2.2 million candidates will sit both KCSE and CAPSEA, with the former having kicked off yesterday. Now, we know yesterday everything kicked on matters to do the examination, and this report by the People Daily is that over 960,000 candidates are expected to sit the KCSE exam, Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Secondary Education. Now, over 960,000 candidates are expected to sit for exam, while 1.3 million candidates school education assessment, that is CAPSHARE, around 1.3 pupils will take exams, that is CAPSHARE. And also, government plans to deploy 66,000 teachers that have been trained to assist, to deploy 66,000 teachers who have been trained in to assist teaching of the junior secondary school pupils or students. Also, NEC has put NEC has placed tough measures to curb cheating when it comes to education matters and exams. Now, NEC has placed tough measures to curb cheating, including personalization of examination papers to ensure each is unique to candidate, rotation of supervisors, as well as band art, reading, and more and more. You can read that story in page 2 of the People Daily newspaper and get more of the information. Now, moving on to page 3, where we have a story of MP's query 1 billion spent to set up sports academy. Now, Kenya Academy of Sports CEO Doreen Odhiambo explains how contract went from 859.8 million shillings to 1.3 billion shillings. Now, a story is by Mercy Mwai. Remember, you can grab your copy and read more extensively. Upgrade billions. Now, getting into it, you'll find that Sports Kenya also spent 3.1 billion on renovation at Moi International Sports Center and another 1.3 billion on design feasibility study to topographical study for construction of Constituency Sports Academy. Now, that is in page 2 of the People Daily newspaper, and there's a story by Mercy Mwai. Getting into that story, you'll be able to read more comprehensively and get to know what's happening in matters of sports and on that area. Now, on the same page, we have Kakamega tops 4 counties on gender violence list of shame. A story by Cynthia Atuo. Now, the story reads, among 4 counties surveyed, gender-based violence is most prevalent in Kakamega, with more than 50% of women reporting they had experienced physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, a new survey shows. Now, that survey shows that Kakamega, among the 3 counties, is topping on matters to do with violence, that is, violence against women, that is on sexual assault, on matters to do with physical assault. The story is on page 4 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, yesterday we did see housing levy is lawful. Judges ruled. Now, the High Court has ruled that the Housing Levy Act is constitutional, saying it was enacted in line with the provision of the Public Participation Court severally for a long time. Now, the 3-judge bench ruled that it was constitutional. Now, the 3-judge bench comprised of Justice Olga Sewe, John Chigiti, and Josephine Mungare found that though the petitioner had stated that public aid were discriminated against, it was adequate. Now, that is the rule, that's the judgment on matters to do with the housing levy. You can read that and more on page 3 of the People Daily newspaper. I'm skipping partly the story on matters to bring to you lastly as we wind up this newspaper review. Now, we also have report says 10 million children live in poverty. Now, large number of children living in a multidimensional penury means they lack basic need. Now, the story is by Samuel are affected by poverty, which is depriving them the access to education, decent housing, proper sanitation, and adequate nutrition, and other critical areas for their growth and development. Now, this figure represents the number of children living in multidimensional poverty, which means they lack basic needs, while another 7.7 million children are affected by monetary poverty. Now, that's a survey on how children live in Kenya, and the report now says 10 million children live in poverty. Now, you can also read that more and more to get more information of the People Daily newspaper. I believe it is very important that you read that. Now, children in poverty, currently over 8 million Kenyan children are without essential income support, further exposing them to lack of basic necessities. Also, United Nations on its part say that inadequate parenting skills and growing up in poverty contributes to child protection issues. And also, the UNICEF noted that Kenya continues to face significant challenges as multiple shocks, including the recent drought and after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, that's part of the report that gives that was surveyed on children living in poverty. You can grab your copy and read more extensively. Now, stakeholders call for mental health awareness among tertiary students. A story by Matthew Ndungu. Now, stakeholders and players in the education sector have called for action of awareness and adoption of deliberate measures to address mental health issues among students in tertiary and higher learning institutions. They have that mental illness, and especially among the youth, is a ticking time bomb that requires serious attention and multi-sectoral approach to deal with. Now, that matters to the education stakeholders now coming up to say that students in tertiary colleges and higher learning institutions need to be educated and need to go through mental. Please grab your copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more comprehensively. Now, confusion over report Sonko hold title for affordable housing land. Now, that's very Governor Mike Sonko knew and never returned to us. Now, you can read that story. Confusion has emerged in Nairobi County government after following revelation that City Hall was not in possession of two. Now, that's a story that you need to read. Now, City Hall has revealed that there are two areas where affordable housing is being built, and that the title deed of those places are in custody of the former governor, Mike Sonko. I believe that's a story that you love to read and find more comprehensively on what is there. It's a story by Alvin Mwangi. It is in page 7 of the People Daily newspaper. UNHCR concerns as refugee return to Turkey after arrest. Now, several people picked from Nairobi streets allegedly flown back to their country after Ankara's request. Now, that's a story that I also believe you need to read. Kenya Foreign Ministry said it had agreed to Turkey's request to repatriate the nations. Amnesty International's Kenyan spokesman said he was deeply concerned by a report that 7 asylum seekers from Turkey have been abducted. Now, that's also a story that I believe it is important when you grab a. Now, moving into quote of the day, we have that is on People Daily editorial. We have quotes of the day. Now, regarding Gachagua's impeachment, we can't afford to repeat the mistake we made by supporting the last finance bill against the. I'm going to give you a story shortly on Wanjiku here, and also we also have another quote of the day that is from Nairobi County Minority Leader Anthony Kiragu. He says, the officers who were meant to implement the Pangani Affordable Housing Project are not sure. This is pure theft. We will not be party to their thieving ways. Now, that's also quote of the day. And also we have one from Kenya Union of Blind CEO Jackson Agufana. Says, many public spaces remain inaccessible and the safety of white cane users is frequently overlooked, motorists and pedestrians need to respect the right of visually impaired individuals to cross street safely. Now that is what to expect there. And also we also have a cartoon of the day. Looking at the cartoon of the day, we see no entry, Chief Justice in Gachagua saga. Chief Justice in Gachagua saga. Now we see there we have a door. If you look at that carefully on the People Daily newspaper, the cartoon of the day, we see there a door which is padlocked with 3 padlocks, and Gachagua is standing out, and it is also fenced properly. You can check there and also read. Now for those who love the thought of the day, this is the thought of the day. Think about it and actually let us know or find out what it means. That is by Rose Perot. The activist is not the man who say the river is dirty. The activist is the man who cleans up the river. Now that's a thought of the day. Now the activist is not that person who says that the river is dirty, but actually the activist is the man who cleans up the river. I believe that's a thought of the day. Please go through it and find out actually what it really means. Now let us get back on matters to do with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now that is what I want to give you in brief so that we get to understand, to know what's actually happening in this case. Now you will realize that if you move to page 4 of the People Daily newspaper, Gachagua wants bench rescued in ouster petition. Now impeached Deputy President team put up fight to have judges barred from hearing case blocking CS Kindiki. Now that's a story on page 4 by Caroline Kubwa, and it says Gachagua and other petitioners argued that the 3 judges were the same ones who had been appointed by Chief Justice Martha Koome to hear his impeachment. Now he wants that the 3 judges should not hear or should not be part on the decision making or court hearing on the impeachment, that is blocking CS Kindiki from being sworn in. Now that's a story, and also says the 3-judge bench is set to hear a case this afternoon challenging Gachagua's stay order stopping his nominated successor Kithure Kindiki from taking the office. Remember, Gachagua and his team went to the court to block that is the CS, the issue on CS nominated Kithure Kindiki, nominee for the office of the Deputy President, from being heard in the court. Now you can also read much and that in page 4 of the People Daily newspaper. Now as we move on, we also say that impeachment wave realigns Nyandarua politics. Now this is a story by David Masharia. The story by David Masharia gives us the outline on how the impeachment of the Deputy President is bringing new alignment when it comes to the Nyandarua politics. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua impeachment has created a wave that has either breathed a new life into some Nyandarua County leaders' political future or put those of others on the line depending on which side they were. Now, that is what is there. And also we did see that Kipipiri constituency member of the parliament now went back, and she was highly received by the members or by the constituents. That is after she had opposed the impeachment of the Deputy President. Now that is a part of the story which I believe it is important for you. Please grab the People Daily newspaper and read more and more and more. Now, moving into page 5 of the People Daily newspaper, this is where we find out why Ruto picked Kindiki for the deputy post. Now, the Interior CS among those who made the cut with the Senate House said to be keen on having someone from Mount Kenya take over the seat. Now, why did actually CS Kithure Kindiki to take the office of the deputy president? Now, the story is by Mercy Mwaye. Now, you realize split second court's intervention. Rigathi Gachagua has filed a number of petitions stopping, opposing the swearing in of Kithure Kindiki, and also pre-election agreement. The Kenya Kwanza pre-election between Ruto's UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya worked against Mudavadi as it reserved deputy president's position for UDA. Now, why did the president actually nominate Kithure Kindiki for the position? Now, the fresh details have emerged on why President William Ruto settled on Interior CS Secretary Kithure Kindiki, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, as the nominee for the position of the deputy president. Now, the document seen by the People Daily shows that Kithure Kindiki battled it out among 5 other candidates, and these 5 other candidates were Ichung'wa. Once we had Musalia Mudavadi, majority leader of majority Kikuyu MP, that is Kimani Ichung'wa. I've said that. Anne Waiguru and Embu Cecily Mbarire, and also Kangata Irungu Kangata of Murang'a. But why did he actually settle? However, narrowed to the 3, that is Kithure Kindiki, Ichung'wa, and Mbarire. And it was revealed that Professor Kithure Kindiki, Mount Kenya roots Gachagua hails from the region, and Kenya Kwanza pre-election agreement favored the constitutional lawyer. Remember, before the deputy president William Ruto, among those who were nominated were Kithure Kindiki, and this gave him a better chance to be the deputy president, and that is part of the reason as to why he was nominated by the president. Now, you can read much and more of that story in page 5 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, Ruto also files, the president also files challenge to Gachagua's suit against impeachment trial. Now, a story by Caroline Kuba, also on the same page 5, says that the President William Ruto has filed a preliminary objection seeking to stop High Court from handling a case leading to impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, through lawyer Adrian Kamotho, President has argued that the court lacks jurisdiction to hear and determine petition. He also argued that it is an abuse of the court process. Now we see the battle that is on now. You can get to your newspaper, that's People Daily, and read more. That is on page 5 of the People Daily newspaper. Now, as we move back, let us also move back and see what do we have. What do we have? We also have a story on Deputy President Gachagua. That's former Deputy President keeps sleuths meeting over assassination. Now, a story by Zadok Angira. Remember, the Deputy President had made some allegations that he was being targeted for assassination. Now, when he was called by the DCI to go and record statement, he actually left and instead went to the court to hear matters that is determined to him. This is after there was security beef in the DCI. The story by Zadok Angira reads, impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua yesterday ignored summons from the detectives to shed light on his allegations that President William Ruto and Kenya spy agency had plotted to assassinate him. Now, Gachagua instead drove to Milimani Courthouse in the city to attend a case he had filed challenging his ouster. The case was heard by 3-judge bench. Now that is what happened. And remember, the details say it was not a master press. Matters to do with the impeachment of the deputy president, as you have seen in what we have given you. Now let us move further to what we are having, that is on business matters. Facebook and Instagram, to understand, and that Facebook and Instagram owner Meta is to introduce facial recognition technology to try and crack down on scammers who fraudulently use celebrities in adverts. Now that is very important. Grab your copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more. Digital sector to pump 662 billion into economy. Now GSMA projects the injection expected by 2028 will create 3,000 new jobs and generate an additional 150 billion tax revenue. That's a story by Miriam Murigi. Please grab your copy and read more of that story. The digital sector is expected to contribute 662 billion Kenya shillings to Kenya's economy by 2028, thereby creating thousands of new jobs that's what the report says. Please grab your copy and read more comprehensively when it comes to that. KRA malls using WhatsApp for tax invoice generation. Now, Kenya Revenue Authority plans to ramp up its ordinary tax collection initiative by enabling Kenyans generate tax invoices through the popular instant message platform WhatsApp. Hakamba Wangwe, that is KRA Chief Manager, that is DTETM, said this initiative, to be launched soon, will complement existing platforms like unstructured supplementary service data. Now that's a story. You'll be able to generate your invoice, your tax invoice, that is through WhatsApp, in case it is launched. You can grab your copy and read that. Shock registrar of company list appeal registered on July 5th among firms to be struck off from registrar at the expiry of 3 months. Now the story is by Cynthia Atuo. Please grab your copy and read that. Ketraco moves to boost power supply. Grab your copy to read more extensively. 5 trillion held as bank deposits by 1%, CBK says. Now, regulators say nearly 99% of account holders had balances of. The Central Bank of Kenya estimates that 1% of Kenya held a staggering 5 trillion in their bank accounts as of December 2023, which reflects the stark constraint in wealth distribution. I think that's a story that you need to get, and it is very important. Now, for the lovers of Market Watch and Nairobi Securities Exchange, we have it there for you. Please grab it and read. JP Morgan appoints Sailepu Montet as the country manager for Kenya. A story by Vanessa Sandra. Please grab your copy and read more. Now, getting into the world news, BRICS leaders gather in Russia for a summit. That is war in Ukraine. Western allies want India to be more active in persuading Moscow to end the war in Ukraine. But Modi has avoided the condemning Russia while emphasizing a peaceful settlement. Now that's what is the story. And also Modi, who last visited Russia in July, said this visit reflects the close friendship between the countries. Speaking at the start of his meeting with the Putin, he also reaffirmed New Delhi's push for peace in Ukraine. Now that's a story, a world story that I believe you can get to read more extensively and get to know what's happening. Israel's war on Gaza has set development back by 69 years. Get to read that and much more of that story. Now as we continue, I'm moving very fast. For the lovers of TV, you can check out the TV programs that is in Kameme, that is in K24. We have it there, and also Citizen TV, KBC, and TVN, KTN. For the lovers of Sudoku, we have it there for you. Please grab your copy. Now, moving into matters of sports, riders revved up. Checking onto that. Now, Kenya's motocross team of 17 riders led by Apollo Mbuki set to compete at FIM Africa, Motocross African Nations in Morocco, with the backing of the government. Now that's, I believe, a story that you need to read and more comprehensively. As we continue with the matters of sports, we move to National Super League drama unfold as 3K Football Club stumbled against Mofa in tight race. You got to read that. That is trio of 3K FC, Dimba Patriot FC, and Nairobi United FC are triggering a mini battle among themselves in the 2024-2025 Football Kenya National Super League. The champions barely 5 rounds into the session. You can also read that and much more of the story. And also we have, that is, players who changed jerseys for El Clasico encounters. Now you can also check that. That is very, very important for the lovers of football and those who love to watch football extensively. Ministry of Sports fetes rising stars.